Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Judith Patterson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Texas, and today I'm going to show you some projects using March's Paper Pumpkin Kit, which is called Beyond the Horizon and coordinates beautifully with Stampin' Up's New Horizons 6x6 Designer Series paper. I've been having some issues with my voice due to Texas allergies. It's definitely allergy season here, and my voice is just struggling to keep going lately. So I'm going to try to get through this whole video, but there may be some starts and stops if I start losing my voice again. Okay, I do have a couple of updates. So if you would like to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, or just you can order a one-time kit. You don't even have to commit to a subscription, and subscriptions are not necessarily committing because you can't cancel it anytime. But if you want to get the April Paper Pumpkin Kit, which I'm really excited about, you need to subscribe by April 10th, which hopefully I can get this up tonight. So April 10th is Sunday. So that's the last day to subscribe in time to get this kit. The kit that I'm showing you today is March's kit, so it's too late for that one. We don't ever get to see exactly what is in a kit before you get it. It's a surprise, which is part of the fun. But you do get kind of an idea of the theme for it, and if you would like to see that, then just swing on over to my Facebook page or to my blog, and I'll have that posted there. You could also sign up for my newsletter, and you can get that information there as well. So, the other update I wanted to make sure you're aware of is the last chance list was posted at the end of March. We're fixing to get a new catalog in May, so everything on that list is available until May 2nd or while supplies last. And I wanted you to be aware that several things, a lot of stamp sets, starting to get into the cardstock and designer series paper, things are selling out. So if there's anything from the annual catalog that you really want to make sure you get from 21 to 22, then take a look at that list, and I'm going to post an updated version with this video. It'll be in the description below. Alright, let me show you this kit. Okay, so this is Paper Pumpkin's March 2022 kit. Like I said, it's called Beyond the Horizon. Now, Stampin' Up! Always gives you a stamp set, a photopolymer stamp set with this kit. But in March, we almost always get a bonus stamp set, which is a lot of fun. So this one came with this set. See if I can not have it super glaring for you, which is fabulous and floral and fun. And then we also got this set, which has some more great sentiments on it. A leaf image and just this geometric image that you can see on the box. We also got a spool of Pale Papaya ribbon, some iridescent gems. I love these. The Stampin' Spot. You always get a Stampin' Spot in your kit. And this month it was Misty Moonlight, which is one of the retiring in colors. It won't be available for very much longer. You get your instructions in the kit and any adhesive that you need. And of course, everything that you need to put the kit together. Okay, so in this kit, we had enough supplies to make 3 cards of 3 different designs, so 9 cards in total with envelopes to match. So let me just set this aside, and I'll show you these cards. So here's the first one. And of course you can change the sentiment. You can use one you already have, or you can use one of the many that come with this set. Whoops. And then here's the envelope. Isn't that pretty? So something to keep in mind with these envelopes is you can always cut them up and use them like designer series paper on your projects. Really love this one. So pretty. I think it's my favorite out of this set. And again, the inside has the design as well. So those are all ready to go. So you can make all 9 cards just like they are, or you can add some of your own supplies or reuse those supplies in different ways and make different cards. So I have my Stamparatus here, which is not required, but this stamp set is larger. It will fit on the block that comes with your kit. You get a block the first time. You get a block the first time that you get a kit, and then you can just keep reusing that block and just clean your stamp and change stamps every time you need to change them. Or you can buy a set of blocks, or you can buy a Stamparatus. I am lucky enough to have all of them. So let me switch that camera again. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to use my Stamparatus just to make this a little easier on myself. I'm going to start with Calypso Coral ink. I think that getting the kits are perfect for new stampers because you can build up your stamp supply and your ink supply, because you can just start out with those smaller stamping spots. Those are really handy to have. There we go. I'm going to stamp off very lightly once, and then I'm going to grab a piece of basic white cardstock. I'm going to use my magnet to hold that down. I have another magnet over here as well, and I'm going to stamp this. Another reason why I like my Stamparatus is I can I get a nice even stamp every time. There's no rocking my stamp, and I can restamp if I feel like my image needs to be darker. Then it's really easy to restamp in the same spot. Okay, so I'm going to take this plate off now, and I've already got my outline stamp right here. So I'm going to ink this one up with my Calypso Coral. Oh, haha, that's supposed to be on the top. I don't know why I took it off like that. I want this one to be nice and dark. Okay. Then I'm going to take my Pale Papaya and add the circle to the center of the flower, the large flower. And since everything is clear, I can see right through to stamp that where I want it. Okay, so now I'm going to get my Misty Moonlight and my Celebrate stamp, and all of these stamps came in the kit. I didn't add any stamps, just some cardstock. Celebrate. And I am going to add one more thing. I have these leaves, so I'm going to use my old olive. I'm just going to stamp these leaves right on my card. Okay, so now I've taken an envelope, and what I did was I cut off the edges. I cut a little bit off this edge and a little bit off at this edge, and then I opened it up and I went ahead and cut the bottom off, and then I cut a 1/2 inch strip off of this side. So then I cut the 1/2 inch strip down to 2 inches, and let me get that out of there before I mess it up. I'm going to show you a trick. I have just a small Post-it note. So I'm going to just tear off a little bit of my Post-it, and I'm going to put the sticky end right here on the end of my little strip of my envelope that I cut out. I'm going to stick it inside my card, or my punch here, and just slide it down. I'm going to use that sticky note to hold it and get it lined up. You could also leave this piece long and cut your banner end and then cut it to the length that you want it. So whichever way you want to do that. And I'm going to do the same. This is a piece of Calypso coral. I'm just going to scoot it up there and get it in place. And punch that out. Okay, so one thing I forgot to do is I want to stamp this small flower here on this piece of paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up the part that I don't want stamped. Okay, so I want to make sure that I can get my flower on my little piece of cardstock, but I don't want the rest of that on here. So put that little piece to the side. I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to slip this right under it. And I realize now what my issue is, and that is that I have the whole thing stamped on here clearer than I have my little piece. I didn't plan that out very well. There we go. So that's on there now. Just going to put this to the side while I finish up my card. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab my handy dandy stapler. And this is just a stapler from an office store. I just like to have it handy at my desk where I can use it every once in a while to add just some little fun scraps to my cards. I'm just going to place these on here like so. And staple them on. And you can just leave them like this, or you can go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of those before you staple them if you want to, but I don't really see the need in that. So now I'm going to use some dimensionals, and I'm going to put it, this is a thick basic white cardstock, cut in half and then scored in half. Y'all, the allergies, they're not just messing with my voice, they're messing with my mind. Alright, so I'm putting these dimensionals on the back of my card, this piece, not my actual card. And I do like to use a lot of dimensionals, especially in Texas in the summer, because heat tends to melt adhesive, all kinds of adhesive. And the summer's here, and I think this summer's going to be a super hot one. sometimes the adhesive does melt in our mailboxes. They just cook in there. There we go. Okay, so that is that for that card. What do you think? A little awkward, but I got there. So see, yeah, you could definitely, I think I might go ahead and just add, pardon my arm, might just go ahead and add a glue dot. And glue dots are something that you get as part of your kit. They'll come on a smaller sheet, and depending on how many glue dots you need, but they do come on sheets, not on rolls. Okay, so there's our first one, and I'll have all the dimensions on my Facebook, or not my Facebook page, my blog post to go along with this video, if you want the dimensions of each of these cards. Okay, so now I'm going to take a baby wipe, and I'm just going to wipe off my stamps real quick. I'll be right back. The baby wipe that I used was alcohol free, of course. You want as much just water as you can get. You don't want to have a lot of weird chemicals on your stamps. And now this is just a Simply Chamois, and it has water in it. I'm just getting off anything extra. This does a really good job of cleaning your stamps. I just don't like getting it super inky because then I have to clean it more. Okay, so for our next card, I'm going to use sponge daubers. You can get a package of these for $5. 5 daubers fit, or come in a package. So I like to keep mine and use them over and over again. So when I'm through, I'll make sure that these get a label as well. I just use my little label maker and put the name of the color on, and that way I can just keep using it. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is reload my Stamparatus with my cardstock. And I don't even need to move those stamps. I can leave them right where they're at. I'm going to start with Calypso Coral because it's the lighter color. And I want to ink up just this big stamp, or the big flower. Before I stamp that, I need to add the Misty Moonlight to the smaller flowers. There will be some overlapping, but that's okay. That's the look that I'm going for. Okay, so now I'm just going to stamp these as usual. If you don't want them this dark, you can stamp off like we did on that first one. Okay, and then I don't know why I'm closing that because I'm going to repeat the process on the outline stamp. Remember, Calypso Coral on the large stamp and then Misty Moonlight on the 2 smaller stamps. I'm going to use the Papaya for the center, and I am going to go ahead and sponge daub that on just because it gives it more of a consistent look. There we go. Then I'll do the same thing with the leaves. So I've got my old olive again for the leaves. Okay, and I'm going to turn this card now. Oh no, look, I got my finger in the ink. I don't even know which finger that was. Okay, I'm going to get my Misty Moonlight. And this time I'm going to use my Thinking of You stamp. Maybe I can cover that boo-boo up. We'll see. So Thinking of You. Then I'm going to take these off. They're very strong magnets. And I'm going to get my water painter. I like to use the smallest water painter for this. And I'm going to get my Calypso Coral ink. Before I go any further, I'm going to grab a Post-it note that I've already cut down to fit right over the Thinking of You. And I have ink. Look, I did it again. Can y'all see that? I messed up and got more ink on there. So I squeezed my pad to get ink in the lid, and now I'm going to squeeze my water painter to get a lot of water down on the tip and just kind of drip that down there. I'm going to splatter this ink on my card. And you can do as much or as little as you want. I feel like I've got a lot of big blank places, but that's okay. And then of course clean your water painter really well. I'm doing that off screen. Just on a paper towel is fine. You just want to get as much of that ink out of there as possible. And then when it's real watery like that was, I always go ahead and wipe it up off my ink pad lid so that it doesn't get water all over my ink pad. Okay, now I'm going to pull that off. And my intention was to not have any bling on this card, but since I have gotten a big blob of ink right there, I think that I will go ahead and add some bling to it at the end. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, I have this piece of Misty Moonlight. Actually, this is Night of Navy. So I have a piece of Night of Navy because Misty Moonlight is retiring and I don't have much of that left. So I'm just using my liquid glue. And I'm going to put this on this Calypso Coral card base. And add some more glue to the back of this one. My glue is almost empty. And I think that's it for that one. Okay, let's see if this is going to be big enough to cover that big smudge there. Look at that. It is. It is. That makes me happy. Okay. So let's just add some bling. And this, again, is what came in the kit. There we go. So there's our second card. And again, so far, all we've used is, well, some ink, some cardstock, and I did use the water painter. Okay, so let's put that one to the side. And the final card, I have an old olive card base. I grabbed a piece of New Horizons Designer Series paper, but you could also probably just cut one of those envelopes if you wanted to use a different color, and use the envelopes as your base, or not your base, but your little Designer Series paper. And so I'm going to go ahead and just, there's a new liquid glue. Isn't that pretty? That's my favorite, but it doesn't go with this color scheme quite so well. So I'm gonna put this right here, and this is just a 3 by 4 inch piece of Designer Series paper. So now I'm going to use glue dots, and I'm going to use the ones that came, these came in a paper pumpkin kit. I'm not sure that they came in this one. I think I grabbed some from another kit. There we go. I'm just going to put this kind of overlapping the edge a little bit. Then I'm going to use some more glue dots on the back of this. And this piece came from the kit. Both of these pieces came straight from the kit. This one is actually much longer, and I snipped off a little bit here. This is my take your pick tool. This is my favorite little device. It is not a necessary tool for stamping, but I'm not sure how I lived without it, or stamped without it, I should say. Okay, so I'm just going to put this kind of at an angle, hanging off, and then I have a somewhere, here we go, this is 3/4 of an inch by 3 1/4 inches. And I have another stamp set. This one says Best Wishes. And again, I'm using that Misty Moonlight ink. So I'm going to stamp Best Wishes right here. Kind of centered up on my card. Not centered left to right, but centered up and down. Then I'm going to use my punch again. And what I'm going to do is just run a little bit of glue on the bottom of this strip. And then I'm going to place this piece. This is another piece from the kit that I just trimmed down. I'm just putting it right here towards the bottom and lining up the left edges. Now I'm going to take my Stampin' Dimensionals, took the backing off and didn't get the actual dimensional. I'm just going to put 3 of them along this, and I am overlapping it so it's on both pieces of cardstock. Then I'm going to place this over this piece. I want a little bit of that circle showing underneath. And then I'm going to use some more of these, this bling that came in the kit. And I think I'm just going to put the one piece right there and not add anything else. So there we go. There's our 3 bonus cards from this kit. So we have a Best Wishes, Celebrate, and Thinking of You. Which one is your favorite? Thank you for watching my video. Thanks for hanging out with me till the end, and hallelujah, my voice worked all the way through. That is a miracle in and of itself. Alright, y'all, let me know if you have any questions. I hope you're having a fantastic week, that you have a wonderful weekend, and that the allergies are not getting you as bad as they are me. Happy stamping.